From here, we could head anywhere the eye can see, explore ancient ruins, or sabotage vampire blood transports. But it's not just about where or when you go. It's also about how you approach the main quest and shape the story, making each playthrough uniquely your own. For now, we're following the road. Coen is on his way to the city's Cathedral, chasing leads about a powerful weapon said to be hidden in its crypts. But first, we'll have to deal with some bandits who camped out by the main road. Traveling through Vale Sangora is never boring. The world is dense with quests, random encounters, and locations steep in lore. This will be a great opportunity to show you our combat system. Our goal was to make the player feel like a real swordmaster who closely observes his enemies. We'll begin this fight by using acrid dust to stun one of the enemies. Now, when you attack, you choose one of 4 directions: up, down, left or right, in order to hit the opponent where he's unable to parry. And similarly, when defending, you have to take note of the enemy's intent and the direction of the attack. On the left side of the screen, just above Coen's health, you have activation charges that will be filled in with each successful attack, block and parry. Once they are full, you can use one of the active abilities which allow you to take a more tactical approach to fighting. We started the fight by throwing some acrid dust, and now let's cast Burning Blood. It's a hex which boils the enemy's blood and burns their skin, dealing physical damage over time. Alright, time to finish this fight. Let's use the final activation charge to cast the artery attack, which actually decapitated the last opponent. Our hero quickly dispatched the bandits, so let's loot a few items they've left. It's Xanthe, the oldest vampire in Vale Sangora, and quite a powerful lady. Let's descend and check what's going on.
Don't think I don't see you skulking in the shadows. Come out! You're interfering with my task. Who are you?
It doesn't matter.
Very well. I don't have time for interruptions. Let us dispose of him. Quickly! You've withstood it. Fascinating.
Coen is using his claws to attack when in vampire form. Blood guards are dual-wielding opponents. Their attacks are pretty strong. Of course, even when fighting with claws, combat is still directional. Don't worry, Coen can still use his sword as a vampire.
You haven't lived long.
Only after defeating all 3 of the blood guards, Xanthe deems Coen worthy of a challenge, and she descends to face him. She uses her blood control powers to cast a multitude of attacks, like her blood whips, that hit Coen from left and right. Xanthe is protected by a powerful vampire ability. Once her stamina runs out, Coen will have an opportunity to strike and deal some damage. But be careful, cause Xanthe is quick to counterattack and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill that you've seen in the CGI trailer. So, if we don't hurry, the timer goes down to 0 and Coen will eventually explode. And we're dead. Remember, we were only mid-game here, and Xanthe is one of the game's most punishing enemies. Defeating her right here and right now is very much possible, but it would be hellishly difficult.
The baptism of a newborn is a solemn moment, doubly so. A new life joins our flock, bringing happiness to its parents and to the congregation. Natus ex sanguine est, alitur sanguine, et in sanguine morietur. Ego te baptizo in nomine Dei. Amen. Don't I know you from somewhere, young man? Laslia, maybe?
The Blood of Dawnwalker is one of the most ambitious upcoming dark fantasy RPGs, and it comes from Rebel Wolves, a studio founded by former CD Projekt Red veterans who previously worked on The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. Published by Bandai Namco Entertainment and powered by Unreal Engine 5, the game is slated for release in 2026 on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. And it already stands out as a title aiming to push story-driven open-world role-playing in bold new directions. Set in the gothic, plague-ravaged kingdom of Vale Sangora, a fictional 14th century realm tucked deep in the Carpathian Mountains, the story draws heavily from Eastern European and Balkan folklore, weaving a tale where humanity is enslaved under the brutal reign of bloodthirsty vampire lords. At the top of this hierarchy sits the ancient vampire tyrant, Brensis, whose dominion enforces the cruel blood tax system that keeps ordinary people in perpetual fear. Players step into the role of Coen, known as a Dawnwalker, a tragic figure cursed with both vampirism and silver poisoning, existing precariously between the worlds of day and night. His struggle is deeply personal, to save his family, and in particular his gravely ill sister, Lunka, within a pressing 30-day time limit. This timer doesn't tick in real time, but progresses only through quests, making every decision matter. The developers describe this as a narrative sandbox, where player choices, alliances, and even inaction ripple across the world, shaping quests, relationships, and ultimately leading to multiple branching endings. This isn't just a linear storyline. It's an RPG that reacts constantly to your behavior, allowing you to forge your own moral path in a world that rarely deals in absolutes. Gameplay itself is built around the dynamic contrast between day and night, directly tied to Coen's cursed nature. By daylight, he fights as a vulnerable human, relying on authentic medieval melee combat, swordplay techniques, and limited magic. Once darkness falls, however, his vampiric side awakens, unlocking supernatural abilities such as Shadow Step, letting him blink short distances for stealth or surprise attacks, and Plane Shift, a traversal and combat power that allows for vertical mobility and devastating strikes. This duality doesn't just affect combat, it influences exploration, stealth, and quest opportunities, creating a layered gameplay loop where time itself becomes a strategic resource. The open world of Vale Sangora is designed as a vast, handcrafted realm of biomes, ranging from dense, haunted forests and swampy marshes to desolate mountain passes, ruined castles, fog-drenched villages, and plague-stricken towns. Scattered across the land are monster lairs, hidden shrines, ancient ruins, bandit outposts, and secrets buried in forgotten places, encouraging both story-driven progression and freeform exploration. Rebel Wolves have emphasized that the world is not static. Choices you make can affect villages, characters, and even the broader balance of power between humans, vampires, and rival factions. Combat is another area the team has been fine-tuning, blending gritty medieval authenticity with the flair of supernatural vampiric abilities. Early demos reportedly highlighted improvements such as refined camera systems, hit detection, and AI behaviors, ensuring that fights feel both cinematic and tactically satisfying. The studio stresses that combat isn't about sheer spectacle, but about weighty, skill-based encounters where preparation, timing, and resource management are critical. Behind the narrative are seasoned storytellers, Konrad Tomaszkiewicz leads as director, joined by Daniel Sadowski on design, Bartłomiej Gawel on art, and Jakub Szamalek as principal writer. Names tied to some of the most acclaimed narrative RPGs in modern gaming. Together, they aim to create not just a single game, but the first entry in a planned saga, one that redefines how player-driven choices and moral ambiguity shape the role-playing experience. According to the developers, the heart of the Blood of Dawnwalker lies not in simple good versus evil dichotomies, but in complex moral friction, where every choice has weight and every path carries consequences. With its gothic atmosphere, folklore-inspired world-building, and a blend of narrative freedom, survival tension, and dynamic gameplay, The Blood of Dawnwalker is shaping up to be a dark, mature RPG that feels like a natural evolution of the genre. It's a game that seeks to capture the grim beauty of a vampire-haunted land, the desperation of a family's survival, and the empowerment and cost of wielding monstrous abilities in a world that fears and despises you. As anticipation builds for its 2026 launch, this may well be one of the most important RPGs of the decade, and a new benchmark for how player agency and storytelling can merge in an open-world experience. Now you can enjoy the screenshots without any interruption. Enjoy.